Hello, going live today. Hello again. My name is Nicole Laswell. I call myself the Inner Peace Broker. I am going live this afternoon to see about um, sharing some information that came through today. And it's actually been working through me the last week or so. So, first, happy Friday. Welcome to hanging out with me. Let's make this the happy hour, the soulful happy hour. Happy hours from home. Um, but yeah, so, oh, hello, Miss Steph. Actually, I was going to talk about a little bit of what's been happening um, with my oldest. So, as you all know, or if you don't know him, you're new to the channel, I have two boys that have autism. My oldest is a little bit more severe than my youngest. And we've been having some challenging behaviors that we've been working with. Um, but I usually talk about, when I do these lives, I talk about motivation, what motivates you. And the definition of motivation is really um, the reasons why we behave a specific way. So it's interesting when you look at motivation for everybody. What is motivation like for you, for me, for every distinct situation? Why do we do the things that we do? And again, with a child with autism and my mom's aneurysm, actually, any kind of brain injury, it's really interesting to see how it manifests out in the world, what they need, when they need, what they're motivated by. They're hungry, they want attention, they need a hug, there's too much sensory overload, etc., etc. But what's really interesting that I wanted to share with people today, because it was bothering me, for someone who calls herself the inner peace broker, not having inner peace is it's a signal for me to pay attention to something. And that's what's really cool about walking the talk. You realize that emotions are just, I've heard this before and I love it, heaven's way of communicating through you what's going on with you. And that's why it's important to have the emotions. The idea is not to get hooked by them and just stuck with them. So I think in my last video, I shared that my oldest had hit a teacher across the face and glasses flew and all this other stuff. It didn't look pretty. Um, what happens is that with children with autism, communication is very difficult and they don't know how to convey what's happening. Um, how they see the world, how they perceive it. It's not the same way we do. We're pretty linear people, right? What was in the past, present, and the future, and for them, it's very much now. Um, and so it looks like they have knee-jerk reactions. They don't have the editor that we have, that if I do this, I'll probably get the consequence of getting in trouble. So for him, smacking the teacher, he wasn't even thinking about consequence. It just happens. The problem is that that's not a behavior we want for the rest of his life. And we want him to have a beautiful life, one where he doesn't get in trouble with other people. And it happened again this week. But this is what's interesting. Um, when you get to a point in life with whatever situation where you smack your head against the wall enough times, where you're bleeding, you don't know what to do. And what I mean is when you have a situation that is difficult and you can't seem to let it go, you just keep going and going and going, and you don't see any kind of improvement in the situation, and you feel like you've exhausted every single avenue to improve the situation, but it hasn't happened. So, for example, with Will, we felt like we needed to punish him, to take away his iPad, that he had no electronics. If he was hitting people, he needed to understand that he couldn't do that. Well, guess what? With that brain, that doesn't work. And actually, with a lot of brains, that doesn't work. And I was getting exhausted and I was hitting that wall. And I was with the thought of, he should know better. I was stuck with that. Like, he's 10, he's lived long enough on this planet. This is when I'm angry and these thoughts are going through. Um, And it's funny because then I saw it with my mom, even though she has an aneurysm and she doesn't remember a lot of the previous things that had happened. And she behaves specific ways that are actually very similar, like my child with autism. So it's interesting how neurological, um, like a brain injury can be look the same or very similar to a child with autism or someone with autism. So I also put it on her. So I'd be getting annoyed like these people they need so much. um can't they, stop whining? Can't they stop screaming? um uh can't they stop can't they figure it out on their own? And it was funny because I couldn't let it go until I realized that they really, when I say they should know better, they actually don't know better. um, in actuality, none of us know better. We put that on so many people. My mother should know better. She did all these things in the past. She probably doesn't even remember all those things, and definitely not for me. But um, and Will should know better. But guess what? He doesn't. He needs the extra help. And when I say that someone else should know better, this is what's interesting about that little phrase is that all of a sudden I am empowering something outside of me to give me peace. I want them to stop whining. They should know better to stop whining. They're bothering me, right? And I'm allowing that to take over versus I know better. Or if I don't know better, I'm going to be compassionate and give them a little space because they need the extra help. And I'm going to be compassionate to me because I need the space. So, my motivation in this time around is I was tired and I wanted a break. And I also wanted my inner peace back. So, again, walking the talk is I figured out I was angry. I was figuring out I was sticking to this one point, and obviously it's not true. They don't know better, right? I said they should know better, but they don't. And then I took action to it. One, I'm always praying. I'm always like, Lord, you take the wheel. Universe, whatever you want to call it. You should all experiment with it because it's a lot of fun when things happen that you don't expect. So I asked, I was like, okay, I need help. Obviously, this is not working. Hello, Phoebe. This is not working. I need extra help. And lo and behold, this beautiful angel shows up out of nowhere who reminds me of the ABA background and what we'd done with Will for many, many years. And we hadn't been doing it the last couple of years because he was in public school, and um, we felt like he was fine. He was doing fine. But then COVID hit and all these things that were out of his control, which, by the way, that's all of us, right? It's the outside, and we have to learn how to navigate the outside with a peaceful inner self. And so I forget, the sensory experience of the mask, of the having to be around other people at a specific distance, because he loves to hug people too. So all these things that were different from his everyday caused a lot of behaviors to start popping up that I figured we'd be able to deal with how we've been dealing with them because he was receptive to how we've been dealing with him, which is, take away his preferred item and give it to him when he works for it. But we were doing it not as accurately as we should. So having the help from, hello, Layla, having the help from this beautiful angel, her name is Miss Steph. Um, she's actually on right now. And reminding me to write everything down. What are we going to do? Run these things, they're called programs. And it's unbelievable how having that clear, concise help allowed me to let go of this they should know better program and then just kind of reassess, center back in, and remember that they don't know better and go back into that mindset of helping a child, Mari, helping a child get back into, just teaching them how to live life. They don't know better. So I need to sit down with patience, and letting go of all of this resentment, because that's what it ends up being. That annoyance towards my child ends up being a resentment. which then they carry because they feel that. You know, when someone doesn't like you, or you don't like someone, that energy is there. So it it's actually behooves me. It is for my best and highest to let go of it, because Will especially is very sensitive to that. So as soon as I am able to calmly relax, let go of all of that, then I can do these programs through its ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis Therapy, where he has visuals and he can follow through, and it's broken down very, very simply. Like, for example, I will have a calm, safe body. That's huge. Just that, just saying that, and a little picture of like stick figures, um, and me not having to repeat everything has actually helped him so much that after we had the incident with this week with a coach, um, today was a glorious day. He came home and he gave me a ring. And he just gave me all, and the teachers were amazed, and I'm working with the teachers in a way, just explaining what we're doing, and they're working with us. So it really is amazing when you let go of all the fears and all the junk, all the excess baggage that we bring into all of our relationships, because that's what's interesting about that. They should know better, right? It just doesn't apply to me and my child, it applies to all of us. It applies especially now, where we're all angry at each other. That is a way to hold ourselves hostage to some pretty bad anger that it um, doesn't work for us. So as soon as you get angry, you find out really why. What's the motivation? What's the reason for getting angry there? Um, and ask yourself, do you want to be angry? Is the anger helping you right now? Do you know what needs to change? And then inspired action. Do what you need to do so that your outside reality mirrors the inside reality. So anyway, they should know better is something that I hope everybody knows, to let that go. You know better in the sense that you can always heal yourself, find ways to, yeah, just come back to center. Anyway, I hope that helps today. It was just something that was so big for me that I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way. Um, and it was just something that I really felt strongly to share today, because it really changed everything when I let that go. And Willie's doing so amazing, Mom's doing amazing, we're all doing so much better because the resentments are going away. Forgiveness is the way of life. Um, Having the patience for each other is the way of life in our house. And if more of us did that in our own homes, we'll just lead happier lives, because that's where it doesn't matter, there's this thing called a geographical, where people be like, I'm done, I'm leaving this place. And it's okay if you have to leave a place, leave the place. But what's interesting is the same patterns that were made in one space are repeated completely in a different space. So it doesn't matter if you move, if you're doing the same things in a different space, you're still doing the same thing. So find out why you're behaving the way you're doing it, what's motivating you, how can you change it to really be at peace, and be at peace in the most turbulent of times. To be like Jesus where you walk, everywhere you go, that energy of pure love and compassion. We all have that within us. And that's what the boys have taught me. They've taught me to go looking within for that so that I can be that for them. And if we're that for them, for the kids, the world is changing. It looks ugly. But these kids, this new crop of souls, whatever you want to call it, they're beautiful, light filled, gorgeous people. And we got to give them a chance. And that means that we have to be peaceful to make space for them. So I hope this helps you guys today to find space for you, find peace for yourself. And yeah, I'm hoping to catch you in the next video. Oh, last thing. So Inner Peace Broker is the page on Facebook. You can follow me also on Instagram, Inner Peace Broker on Instagram. My website is innerpeacebroker.com. If you still want to work with me, I'd love to. I have a program running. Starts on November 2nd. So if you want to work with me for 4 weeks, the whole program is $800 for the 4 weeks. We would meet one on one on over the Zoom or FaceTime, whatever works, and then we would also work through internet. So we would do emails, texts, and I would just kind of help you go along with whatever is really bothering you, because every single person is so different. That's why I'm excited to work one on one. I'm only giving this to 5 people, so you have until November 2nd to sign up. I wish you guys all the best. Have a lovely Friday. Sending you all so much love and light. Be the light. You are it already. Just let it shine forth. All right, guys. Have a lovely day and thanks for watching. Love y'all. Bye.